Hey everybody, hope that your week is going well. Welcome to Wednesday, looking at John chapter 8. We've been in this, probably will be in it the next couple of days as well. There's just a lot of richness in John chapter 8. We've looked at some passages earlier, the woman caught in adultery, and now today we're looking at Jesus proclaiming that he is the light of the world. In John 8 and verse 12, he says, again, Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And so the Pharisees start questioning Jesus. And again, we're going with this back and forth and back and forth, all the questioning of Jesus. Well, who are you really? Are you're claiming to be the Son of God? You're claiming that you've come from the Father? Well, that can't be true. And so there's this back and forth, and yet Jesus is proclaiming that he is the light of the world. He is the one who was supposed to come. Go all the way back to Isaiah, what we've just talked about in the last devotions. In Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 2, Isaiah tells us the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. That is Jesus. And John tells us in chapter 1 in verse 5, he says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And then Jesus, after he has told us the great passage of John 3:16 and 17, he goes on and says, but the judgment has come into the world. And he says, light has come into the world, but people loved darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not, and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds may be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, and what they do ultimately will be done in the sight of God. And isn't that true? When we do evil, when we knowingly do evil, don't you look around? See, who's watching? Is anyone there? And that's why Jesus is saying, if you're going to do evil, you do it in the darkness. You do it during the night. You do it when you don't think anybody is watching. But Jesus says, whoever lives by the truth comes into the light because all that you do is done in the sight of God, which is true all the time. We can't go anywhere from God. That's why God is omnipresent. It's what we talked about in the last sermon series. The attributes of God. So we can't run, we can't escape from God. So Jesus says, I am the light of the world. I am the one who was to come. And finally, Jesus says to the people, he says that we're the offspring. Now, he's foretelling what is going to happen in a few verses that we'll get to, not tomorrow, but we'll get to it on Friday, when he says, we are offspring of Abraham and have never been enslaved to anyone. How is it you say that we will become free? Because the Pharisees are talking about freedom and that about the disciples. And it's just all this mess of people just not knowing who Jesus really is. And again, I sometimes go back when I look at myself and say, Michael, would you have known it was Jesus? Would you have really trusted back in that day? But I'm glad we have today. I'm glad we can proclaim he is the light of the world. Hold on to those good words. Have a great night. God bless you.